boy is back. The nonprofit sector connected to the show is Long Island Changemakers. I got one of those with me right now. My buddy, my friend, Michael Halperin is here, Solaris Technology, so involved in the nonprofit sector. You know, boards, connections, relationships. I'm glad you're here, brother. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
What is up? What's going on?
Just happy to be here.
I'm glad to have you, man.
Thank you.
I'm glad to have you.
Thank
You got pink shoelaces on?
I think I do.
That's a
think
cool
I do.
thing. I like that. Did you have like, are you a Nike guy?
No.
All right.
No. I was Vans for a long time.
You are? Yeah, that makes sense. I used to like Adidas shell tops.
Yep.
With like the fat laces.
Yep.
And I would like loop the laces through, just, you know, you weren't tying them, they were just like looped over. Yeah.
I actually have a story about that. I was wearing Vans all the time.
Yeah.
And
did you skate and stuff like that? Or
no.
Just, okay.
And somebody approached me. I don't dress the same way in network events that most people do.
Yeah.
And a woman approached me, and I won't use a name, and said, "Oh my God, you're not wearing Vans, you're wearing Nikes. I thought that you wore Vans all the time."
Yeah.
And I said to her, my sponsorship ran out, and she believed me. She thought I switched. She thought I got picked up by Nike.
You know what that is, like when people like us do that with like a straight face and
yeah, that's what I did. A straight
like
face.
If I knew, like I laugh right away because I know where you're going.
I straight faced her. I was like, yeah, no, Vans
100%.
dropped me. I got picked up by Nike.
I have to like explain stuff to people, and I love that too. Like,
and I kept it moving. I just kept it moving, and she like looked at me and was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Oh, wow, well, at least you got a sponsor.
Awesome. Yeah.
At least you're not out there on your own again.
Yeah.
You know, I think what that kind of that like deadpan humor.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
You get into trouble though.
How?
Sometimes it goes too far. I don't have a filter.
Yeah. So let me tell you about that because I'm
going to curse on the show.
That's okay.
You
I
can?
think. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the rules are, to be honest with you. I don't know. I should probably ask somebody. I'll email somebody after. I guess
if it happens, just I guess do something to the bleep.
I mean, we'll just get rid of the whole show, and I'll just pretend like it didn't happen.
Perfect.
The thing about like that to me is like say in business I definitely have a filter. Like I grew up like pushing the envelope, hanging out with the guys. I'm a bartender, right? You know, like push the envelope, push the envelope, push the envelope. But then like the way I say it is certain people like a networking event. I say like a comedian. I say this guy works too blue. Like meaning like just crude, not appropriate. Mixed company. I think there's a line. I've never, you're saying you do, but I've never seen you do that.
No, I get that. But I'm also not the cookie cutter by far.
Oh, no,
I don't do that. Like, I kind of just say what I should when I should say it. I think the other thing about me is people know when I really like them, you know, and I'll promote those people and I'll work hard with those people. And then if I feel like that's not there, I kind of just don't do anything. I just kind of distance myself from that.
Yeah, but I think that's,
I'm pretty obvious about it.
Yeah, I was talking to another friend of mine, maybe you might know him too, and he was saying like, he's like, yeah, I guess like he's like matter of fact like that. Yeah. Like if people, like if there's not anything here, like what are we wasting our time? Whereas historically, I still invest even if it's like, well, you know, but I've gotten more discerning as I've gotten older, and I've thought about things because we got limited time. We got limited time in the day, we got limited time in the week, we got limited time on the planet, right? So you have to be like mindful about where is the best investment of
That's all you have is time,
energy.
Right?
It's all we got, man.
So to me, I look at it like, you know, getting back to the nonprofit, like is it a mission I believe in? Are they fulfilling the mission, or are they promoting the mission, or is it more of a lifestyle for them? Yeah. Sometimes I look at that and I don't go the extra, but then there's times you meet people and you're just blown away by
the work they do.
The work that they do, and you know, and it's funny because you're always meeting new people every time. Like you think Long Island, you know, it's Waterlock, you know everybody, and all of a sudden it's like, where did that come from?
Dude, you know what? I'll tell you a story. Like, and it's not to be like about me, but people seem to think like Tommy D knows like everybody, and I literally probably know like 250, like 300 people, right? I think a lot, maybe people know who I am for whatever that is, but like there's like 8 million people on this island or some number like that. Like a lot of millions, maybe I'm wrong, maybe 5 million, a lot of people here. And there's a lot of stories. This morning, just as a for instance, I did Philanthropy in Focus, and I don't know if this is an organization you're familiar with, but it's called Hamptons Community Outreach.
Yep.
Now the Hamptons, right? Everybody's driving Bugattis and, you know, Rolexes, Audemars, Peugeot, all this kind of, no. There's actually people who are experiencing food insecurity, experiencing homelessness, and this organization, Hamptons Community Outreach, and the founder, Merritt Mullen, was on the show this morning, and they do such great work. They're helping people rebuild homes. Again, the food insecurity issue, and I think people don't realize there's thousands, you mentioned nonprofits, so that's where I'm going there, thousands of nonprofit organizations on Long Island. How did you get your interest in nonprofit, and we'll talk about what you do professionally too.
So it's a long story, but I was in finance for years. That's where I cut my teeth and learned, everything I learned. 2008 hit, and I think it shook everybody. I ran through that until like 2012. Then I made the switch out, and I started doing other things. But my skill set was always, raising money or bringing awareness or telling a story about something. So now when you read the nonprofit side of it, you look at it and go, okay, now I'm using this skill set to bring eyes on something that's important. And where I'm at now at Solaris, ironically, I met Matthew, our CEO, on the board of Habitat. So that's the connection there. So Habitat for Humanity at the time was Nassau County, Suffolk County. I was the president when we merged, but I met Matthew on that board.
Okay.
And then Matthew said to me, I was looking to leave where I was. There was something going on, and I spoke to him a couple of times, and he said to me, why don't you come to Solaris? I effing hate IT. I usually curse. I caught myself. So I can't stand IT. I think robots are going to kill us, right? Like I'm
nice.
that far gone. But it gave me the opportunity to talk to everybody. And when I go into an IT conversation, they don't want to talk IT. They want to talk what's wrong with their situation. And everybody's using IT. I'm not an idiot. Everybody uses IT to promote and their mission and whatever it is. If you're making widgets, you're selling chicken, you're a nonprofit, whatever it is across the board,
you need
your IT.
You need your machines.
So now
to work.
I'm that business contact where I'm just a friend who has an IT company that helps them, and I love our team. Our team is second to none. So I have fun going to all these different nonprofits or businesses, and typically at this point we're all nonprofits. And
wait, stop for a second. You're mainly all nonprofits?
Well, there's a caveat to that.
Okay.
Or businesses that typically are doing good, right? Like they're giving. I meet them at outings. I meet them at golf. I meet them at breakfast. I meet them at, so they're there. They took a table. They're there. So they're very much for profit. They're law firms, accounting firms, businesses.
Right, but they're mission focused. They're in this community.
Yeah. So I meet them at these events where their sleeves are rolled up and they're doing something like we are. And then all of a sudden, it's like, they're very much a for-profit, right? But
right. I mean, I would say
these events.
I would say like a firm like Vanguard Benefits, like our agency,
exactly. We share clients.
Yeah, super focused on the sectors. When it was the sector, I say, we mean the nonprofit sector.
Yeah, and I think we share a couple of clients.
Probably we do. Yeah. How often are you out?
Oh, I'm out all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm never in. I think my office, I'm in it 3 times a year, if that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's never reason to be there.
Yeah.
So I'm either at, like stuff like this, I'm at networking events, I'm taking people to lunch, there's 3 or 4 people. What I'd like to do is talk to people and see what they're looking for. I need an employment lawyer, I need this, I need that. And then I'll get together and have breakfast or lunch. And then you just become their go-to guy. And I have an amazing stable of people that I work with that I feel like I can go ahead and introduce them and not worry about how's it going to go. I can make the introduction, walk away, and be like, and I get a phone call, I'm like, this guy's amazing, like, oh, this girl's amazing, like, thank you so much, and that's what I really do. I don't, like I said, I know nothing about IT. Like I'm your grandmother shaking her fist at the sky because my VCR is blinking 12. Like I have nothing to do with like turn it off, turn it back on.
You said VCR, they don't even know what you're talking about.
That's what I'm saying, but that's where it is. Yeah.
By VCR, I think that's why we get along, is because it's relationship focused.
That's all it is.
It's focused on people. I mean, when we were talking before, we said, one of us said something about Spirit of Huntington Arts Center. I was out there yesterday. You were on the board. I am on the board. And we're just talking about the growth of that organization. We're going to be growing out in Queens, man. It's like so exciting.
I spoke to Michael, I think it was yesterday, introduced him to somebody else.
All right, good.
Sunrise camps. I introduced him to Sunrise camps because they could be able to use, again, I don't know where it's going to go, but I had a breakfast on Monday with Sunrise camps. It's kids with cancer.
Yeah, I know it. I've volunteered there once,
Right, so then I talked to Michael, I'm like, they do stuff during the year. Like this may be a crossover.
Right.
So I introduced them. Like that's it. The Spirit thing is one of the reasons I got as heavy into nonprofits. I did their Art Abilities, one of their shows. Yeah. The first one I was there, and I was president for a while there for a short minute. And I remember being in there, and there was a kid there, nonverbal, right? His mom's there. He's wearing an ill-fitted suit. He's kind of like just pulling on himself and just. But the mother was like just filled with so much happiness, and I went to talk to her, and I have no idea who this woman is. If I ran into her right now, I have no idea. But she changed everything in me, because she said, typically when my kid, I don't get a phone call during the day that my kid's a problem, that's a good day for me. But now I have something to put on Facebook. I have something to celebrate. And it was just the giving back to that situation that moved me so much that, I have a daughter, she's 22, and she, knock wood, she's been great, and, we've had all those milestones, and there's people out there that deal with stuff that it's much different than my experience, and if you can give them a little bit of joy, and it's not just always work and hard, like you can give them back to have that opportunity, I think that comes back, and just so much to help out in that.
I love that, and I think, certainly, people of our era, there was, stigma is the wrong word, but there was not such a big focus on inclusion and giving people accessibility and things like that.
Separate rooms, like keep them away, little bus.
Right.
Like I'm probably older than you, but like you'd go into school, like they were just always.
They're like a resource room and stuff like
just
that.
tucked aside.
Yeah, and I think, and that's certainly changed, but I think Spirit of Huntington is a great example of, what I always say about Spirit is that, vocation is a big part of what they do there with artworks, and they redid our brand, Vanguard Benefits, they redid our website. And I always say it's not about ability, I say it's about access or accessibility and giving people access to jobs and roles and responsibilities. I want to tell you the story. So I'm there at Artability one year, and this one gets me. So this young man is there, and I talk to these parents. I'm a board member, so I'm schmoozing, do what we do, right? So I'm walking around talking, I don't remember the parents' names, but I said, I'm Tommy DeMisa, I'm on the board, Vanguard Benefits. They go, oh, Vanguard, our son, he works on the Vanguard account. And now I'm like taken by it, and I'm like, so I think of us as like, we're this cool, like boutique employee benefits firm here on Long Island, we do great work, but I'm not thinking of it as the Vanguard account, right? Like this is not like Mad Men, right? Like, but I'm going to just mention this young man's name is Jacob. He's a great young guy. And I got emotional. The mom got emotional because Jacob works on the Vanguard account. Right. And that's Artworks. He went through the courses. He knows how to do this stuff. He's learned some of the social media posts. Him and some of the other young men and women over there have done different mock-ups and things like that we review and see what we're going to use on our social media. That's game-changing, man. That's life-changing stuff where that's giving somebody access and opportunity. And these are talented people that are doing things.
Yeah, that just, it can be something that's helping them through an interview, right? Like, with the IT side, we've helped some different organizations help people go through the interview process and how it should do, and mock interview and do stuff like that. And we've tried to hire and do something along those lines as well. But just getting to over the nerves of what to expect, and, and have and also I think it's also important for the hire person who's doing this to understand that that person may have an aide with them when they're doing the interview, right? And maybe an aide with them for the first couple of weeks or maybe forever, right? But on the same token, you're probably the best employee you've ever had.
I think in a lot of cases, you see that a lot,
Michael Kramer, who's no longer with the corporate source, taught me a lot. Like that, his vision on how to deal with that ideology. Like, don't give me a check, give me an opportunity to hire people, right? Like give me an opportunity to show you that they can do the work.
You know where that's like, and that's similar, and I know you've collaborated a little bit with me with what we're doing here with Sattel Institute out here on Long Island, and that whole focus on corporate social responsibility is a big part of that because, Sattel Institute being fully funded nonprofit organization, they're not looking for membership fees. They're just looking to continue to build that momentum and culture around businesses getting involved in nonprofit. And that's like a company like Solaris and a company like Vanguard Benefits and what guys like you and I do is just that, is community-minded people that are supporting organizations so they can do the good work.
But it has to be authentic.
Oh yeah.
Like a lot of times I'll talk to people like, oh, you're on all these boards, you do all this work. How do I do that? And I'm like, well, what's important to you? Right, so let's start there. What's important to you? Like if you're going to join a board because the president of a bank is on the same board and you're trying to get that bank as a client, right? It's not really, people are going to see right through that. Yeah. Like it has to be authentic. Yeah. Right, you have to want to work with that mission. I mean, I can tell you right off the bat all the boards I've been on and why, like and what made me, work there. I feel like I left every board or every situation better than when I got there. And I've spent a lot of time there, but to me, it's always been tied to something personal. It's not, oh my God, I can get them as an account. Like, oh, like that guy said, like, I want that account. People see through that. You can't be that person.
What is important to you? What sort of causes?
It's across the board. I mean, you always meet somebody new. Like, I have a daughter who's had a great life. She's an artist. So, like, to me, like the art side, that's how I got Artability, right? Like, Spirit of Huntington Art Center, right? Like, look at that. Girls Inc., I was on that board for a while. Renee's no longer there, but Renee is like,
she's great.
She's great. Yep. So I was there for a while. My daughter didn't have to go through extra obstacles to be what she wanted to be, right? You know, there was no food issues, housing issues.
Right.
You know, like she grew up knowing whatever I want to be, I could be.
Yeah.
And that was in her. And as people that don't, you know, book fairies, getting kids to read books, right? Like that whole thing. Like she had books. You know, you read into her when she was in the womb. Like she, you know.
So you saw, like you said, look, we were able to afford her all this opportunity.
Yes.
She didn't want for much. And I want to be able to address that for other people.
Yeah, and you know, you look at it and you try to find different situations. So Spirit, Habitat was just one where I felt like it's not, and I don't belittle anybody. Please take this the right way. Like you give somebody a coat, that's great. You give them, you know, food for Thanksgiving, that's awesome. Those are amazing things. Right. But somebody gets a house, that changes the trajectory of the entire family.
No doubt.
Right?
Generationally.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like the entire family, generationally, that just changed the entire. Like they're meeting there for holidays, for Christmas. They're doing, you know, come home from college, they're there. Like their cousins come over. They're building roots in something where they're proud of something. And to me, that was something where it's more than just a lot of other things. So Habitat to me. I was on the board of Habitat, I think, for 8 or 9 years.
How did you end up? You met Matthew there, but that's not how you got there.
No, I got there. I just wanted to start giving back, and there was a house. I went on my own on some weekend. There was a house where you can go and sign up and swing a hammer.
Yeah.
And I went out there. It was actually in Suffolk that I was out there. It had to have been 10 or 12 years ago at this point. And then I joined the financial committee for Nassau. I met Noel there. You know Noel. Noel's an amazing human being. I met Noel there. I was on the finance committee for, I don't know, a month. And then I joined the board, met Matthew, and then I think like a year later I became president of Nassau. Marnissa Stone's one of the most amazing human beings. Love her.
She's down in Long Beach running another organization now.
Yeah, she's a great human. I learned so much from her.
Yeah.
Like she's my angel. Like
Is that right?
Yeah. She showed me how you should run a nonprofit.
You know what? In a couple weeks they have the AFPLI like annual event, and last year she was there.
She was at the one a couple of months ago with that morning. I think that was part of. She was there.
That's where I most recently saw her.
Yep.
That was one of the panel discussions. Yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, but you should maybe come to the AFP event coming up. I was just at an event the other night with that group. It's, you know, I love what you said there though. You learn so much from people. That's what this is all about, Michael.
She was the bookkeeper there. She was our bookkeeper there when I first started. When I walked through the door, they had just gotten rid of the ED, and I walked in like, this is weird. And then you get in the board, and you're like, there's a lot more stuff going on here than just building houses. And that was my first board. And all of a sudden, it's very eye-opening that all the trials and tribulations and, you know, things that they're facing. And she moved from, you know, very low level to very quickly running the entire thing in a way where we had this, you know, Jedi, guru, Yoda, whatever, sitting there who just knew mortgages and politics, and she's one of the greatest speakers I've ever, like, you know, she's on Fox talking about the mission, and I'm like, how were you hidden in the background this entire time?
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
And then you sit and talk to her, and you're like, you learn so much from somebody like that.
Yeah.
And being president, you meet with the ED all the time, and you're making sure that the board's in line with what she needs. And I just watched her work and how she carried herself, and it was really something that I hold to myself often. Yeah,
you know, it's such an important thing to point out, the responsibility of the board of directors in a nonprofit. You know, really there to be supportive in a lot of different ways. You know.
Yep, and a lot of times, either they're not explained to them what they should be doing, or they have a misunderstanding of what it is and not corrected before they join. So. You know, with names like Habitat for Humanity, and I'm not going to the other ones, people like that on their LinkedIn page, right? You know, people like to have that, but you have to roll your sleeves up.
I like how you didn't say on their resume, and you said on their LinkedIn page, because the resume would have went right with your VCR comment.
Yeah, well,
people are Googling.
Rolodex.
People are Googling VCR and resume right now.
Yeah, and Rolodex.
Yeah, and Rolodex.
I'll throw that out there as well.
We're not even that old. There's no Rolodex. We didn't know. Did you have a Rolodex?
Never had a Rolodex.
I know that. Neither did I. But I know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. But you look at that, and that can be problematic where board members join just to have that attachment to a name, right?
I think it is. I think in a lot of cases, so one of the boards I'm on right now, historically there wasn't anybody in sort of like a nominating or vetting committee, and the executive director would just sort of have people that they liked and would want them to be on the board. And we had said, you know, that's not going to work. There has to be some guardrails, some structure to this.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Because why do you want to be on this board? Like, we think you're going to be good. Why though? I want to actually know that. And when somebody can tell you like this is a demographic, a population, a mission that is very important to me, and I have this experience, and here's how I see that I would add value. Wow, that's a different story than this person is a CPA or they're an attorney.
Right.
It's like, why do you, because when it comes down to it, you talk about give-gets, you talk about, friend raising, you talk about fundraising, big parts of what we encourage board members to do. It's like, are you committed to this mission or not? If you're committed to the mission, you're going to do what needs to be done, right?
Yeah, another thing you have to be careful of is we have a lot of successful people on boards, right? They've won at their niche, right? Like they've had massive success because now they can join a board, they can give money, they can spend some time there. But that doesn't always correlate to what you should be doing on the board. Just because you're great at your thing doesn't mean you should have your hands on the employees on what they're doing or talk. We're there for guidance, for governance. So we're not there for and helping answering questions. But the minute you start sticking your fingers into the day-to-day stuff, there's problems there, and a lot of boards get caught up in that.
And I think that's has to be an understanding, and that's why there are professional consultants out there who do board trainings, educate the boards what their responsibilities are. I mean, I have a very close friend of mine who is he's an attorney, very involved in the nonprofit world, and I used to joke with him, and I might have even made the joke recently, that when I hear him speak, I leave another board. I resign from another board. And I say that as a joke just because there's a lot of responsibility and there's risk and there's liability being a board member. It's not just your name goes on the letterhead and they ask you to stand up at the gala and wave to people.
Yeah, there's more to it than that. And put it on your resume.
Yeah, no, there's a lot more than that.
I think I'm on TSI-NY with you now.
Great organization, man.
I think this year I'm going at March, our first meeting on that.
TSI Cares, right? The advisory committee. And that's the thing about organizations too that people don't know. It's not always just join the board.
Right. There's
committee or that.
Committees, right? Yeah. And you can get your feet wet now.
And
people say to me,
like,
you should join a committee that's something. Oh, you're good in events. I would join an event committee for whatever nonprofit you believe in, and see how you garner there, and see what you bring to the table, and see if you like it. And it's not just I want to give back. Where do I go? Yeah, like it's more than that.
It is more than that. And I talk about this: time, treasure, and talent. And some people have all three. Some people have one of those three, but it's
there's unicorns usually though. You're using all three.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, listen, but everybody has something they can give. Even if it's you don't always have to write a check. You could just, maybe somebody is talented in construction work and they can come out and help the facilities team and different things like that.
So that leads into what I want to tell you. So
tell me.
You asked me where we met. I don't remember at all.
I don't either.
I don't have no clue. But I do remember where
I used to remember stuff like that, but I think I'm older and I know more people now, but I can't remember where we met.
But I will say this.
Tell me.
I don't know where we met. I knew you. But to me, you were just a guy who's all over the place, and we talked about the diva thing everywhere, and just like he's everywhere and he's doing everything, and you're kind of everywhere. But I'm like, I couldn't get a handle on you, like who you were, and like is this guy for real or he's not? And I don't know if you remember, but it was right around COVID time where I was taking a tour. I was with Energia, and we were taking a tour of a soup kitchen, and like they're pointing through, and there you are in the kitchen.
Oh, that's at the inn.
You're in the kitchen, and I think you're washing pots. Yeah. And I'm watching. I'm like, this guy's washing. There's no camera. There's nobody interviewing. There's no like, hey, this is what it should be. There's a guy who's, hey, look at me, I'm doing this great stuff in a kitchen, in a soup kitchen, washing pots. Yeah. So to me, that it just, all right.
I remember that.
He kind of gets it.
I remember.
And then for me, that was my turning point where I'm like, I'm doing a tour, learning about like different things with energy, which is another conversation. But that's why I was there. And there you are, your hairnet in there washing. Yeah.
And I was supposed to have a whole camera crew there. They just couldn't show up. Everybody got sick. Everybody was sick.
You were like, I think you were doing like one day.
I was doing some kind of. I remember what you were talking about. I was doing 60 days of service. I had this campaign that I went out.
Yeah, and you were in there just washing pots.
Yeah, by myself. Like by myself.
Nobody there though. Like,
I wasn't like I didn't put a whole crew together.
There was nobody there. It was just you and the staff of the place.
Yeah, and it was all the volunteers and stuff. But it wasn't like I didn't have I didn't.
Yeah, there was no hoopla. There was no like behind the scenes. There was no like this. Look at me. And that changed kind of my view on you.
Well, I thank you. What was the view? You thought I could wash dishes well?
No, it was more like it was like he's doing stuff behind the scenes. It's not just always because you do have a presence where it's like if there's a mic, you're on it, right? Like if there's a camera, you're in front of it. So to me, like
even if I don't want to be in front of the room, I end up
you gravitate
and I push away, but they drag me.
No, you don't. but it kind of validated everything for me because you're there in the kitchen washing pots and pans, and there's nobody there to watch it. Like I just happened to stumble on you. Yeah. Because I was there the same day.
Well, it's funny you say that because what I was trying to prove with 60 Days of Service was, I think it's exactly what we just talked about time, treasure, talent. Like, I don't really care who you are. If you can't write a check and you have limited time, you can show up at a pantry and stock shelves, man. You can do something. You can, there's so much you can do in the nonprofit space. We're sitting here at a nonprofit organization, North Shore TV, right? Public access TV. People come here and volunteer to do stuff. There's a million things you can do. So
I think I just volunteered for an interview for somebody else.
So look at, oh yes, you did. Yes, my friend Ryan Krug, Ryan Meets. You're going to do that interview.
I'm going to do Ryan Meets.
Let me tell, the problem with my friend Ryan is he wants me to go in the water on February 7th in like a polar plunge. And I'm cold. This is it's actually going to be up on the North Shore. I think it's Port Washington. Okay. Dude, I'm cold in this studio right now. I want to put a hoodie over my hoodie, and this guy wants me to jump in the I guess not even the ocean.
You already promised it. You have to.
No, I'm going to do it.
I saw in front of you. You said hello. You said yes to him. So
I said yes to him when he interviewed me on his show. Right. So like, there's like, and now I did it here again. So I'm definitely going to do it. Right. But I hate being cold. Do you like being cold?
No, but I'd rather be cold than hot though.
Oof. I don't know. I don't love being hot either. You know what I love? Like that springtime. Yep. And right before I start sneezing from the allergies, and then it gets annoying. But I realized, I don't know if this happened to you. As an adult, I realized I like fall. I like autumn. I also like saying the word autumn, but I like autumn because I didn't like it until I was about 20 years old. I didn't know why.
It's back to school.
It's back to school, bro. Yeah. And I clicked, and I go, this is a beautiful time of year. Why did I hate this?
Yeah, because summer ending, and you're back to school, and you're done.
Come on, that sucked.
Now you're an adult. It's always.
It's great.
Now it's always school. Now there's no back to anything. It's every day's the same.
But so
it's the same grind.
But it's nice outside, and it's not snow, and I don't have to put down salt to get a shovel, and that sucks. What do you want people to know about what you're up to, man? And who do you want to meet? Tell us about that.
Actually, I stumble around and I just meet people all the time. One of the groups you introduced me to was the Imagine Awards. Everybody knows the Imagine Awards. Beautiful. I think at this point, right? The Imagine
Awards.
Shout
out to Ken Serini, Kellyanne Serini.
Yeah, they're killing it. Yep. And I wound up walking in the last time, and I pull up in my car, and in front there's like, I don't know, 15 Harleys.
I was so excited.
And I'm like, there's like all these Harleys, and I'm like, the fuck is this? So I walk in and there's a bunch of people walking around in cuts.
It's awesome.
And I'm like, all right, this is even weirder now because it's a tie, shirt, suit event, you know. And you introduced me to Baca, and Baca is somebody I support really well. And
shout out to Bikers Against Child Abuse, Long Island. Yep.
There's 7 chapters in New York, and these people are just doing the best they can to help empower kids face their fears and just get their voices back.
Dude, one of the coolest pictures, and I like to take pictures with me in them. Yep. And I'd actually had a photographer with me that night, so maybe there is a little ego thing. Well, I'll talk to my therapist next week. But I had a photographer come out and spend time with me that day. So it's me and I think I had a pink linen suit on. Yep. And and a leather vest. And I was like, because I had met them in a parking lot. I said, because I went out and I was doing these videos with all the finalists in our category. So Vanguard Benefits sponsors the Rising Star category every year at Long Island Imagine Awards. So I went out and saw the 4 finalists. And it was like a Texas Roadhouse, somewhere out in Suffolk County in a parking lot. I met with these guys. We did a video. And I said, you guys definitely going to wear the vests? You're going to wear the leathers? And they were like, yeah. I said, that's going to go over so well in that room. Because they were like, the only bad thing about it was like it took away from some of my shine, to be honest with you.
but that's a group that I knew nothing about.
And then you got to meet them that night.
Yeah, you walk in, you're like, yo, come here. You grab me, like, come here, introduce these guys. Yeah, and within seconds, I didn't know who they were, and they're international. That's awesome. Right? There's 7 chapters in New York. I mean, like, it's just, and they're doing amazing, amazing work, and they can't really raise a lot of money because you can't put kids on camera. They can't have their identities out there. Like, it's a weird situation.
Well, we're going to find ways to help promote them.
You have to find ways to be creative to raise money for the awareness, but there's not a single paid employee for that whole organization.
That's awesome.
And the work that they do.
I'm glad you're connected to them and maybe doing some work with them in the future. You believe? Can you come back?
Yeah, of course.
That's my new thing. Everybody's coming back because one thing I say about my shows, we always run out of time. We never run out of words. That's the thing. That should be my whole theme. Tommy D, he always runs out of time. He never runs out of words. This show is called Long Island Changemakers. I'm called Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector. And this has been another In Focus production. Make it a great day. I'll be back. See you later, hearts. Later, gang. Bye. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good?
Great.